the treasure fleet of Zheng He. The year was 1405, and the harbor of Nanjing thundered with life. Hundreds of sailors hauled ropes, polished bronze fittings, and raised sails as the greatest fleet the world had ever seen prepared to depart. At its head stood a towering admiral, Zheng He, a eunuch trusted by the Yongle Emperor of China's Ming Dynasty. Unlike other admirals, Zheng He did not seek conquest or war. His mission was different. He carried silk, porcelain, and treasures not to conquer, but to awe. Behind him, more than 300 ships stretched across the river like floating cities. Among them were the colossal treasure ships, some nearly 120 meters long, dwarfing anything in Europe. As the drums sounded, the fleet moved with majestic power into the open sea. Wind filled the sails, and Zheng He gazed at the horizon. His orders were clear: to project the glory of the Ming Empire, to open trade, and to bring distant kingdoms under the shadow of China's prestige. The journey carried them across the South China Sea, through the jungled coasts of Southeast Asia, to the spice-laden islands of Java and Sumatra. Everywhere they went, local rulers marveled at the fleet. They offered gifts of exotic animals, camels, zebras, and even a giraffe that many believed to be the mythical Qilin. In Calicut, on the shores of India, the people gathered in awe as the vast ships appeared like mountains on the water. Traders from Arabia and Persia knelt before the admiral, bringing fine jewels, ivory, and spices. Zheng He, tall and dignified, accepted the tributes on behalf of the emperor. In return, he bestowed silk banners and golden seals, tokens of friendship that bound kings to China's court. But not all encounters were peaceful. In Sri Lanka, a local king defied the Ming fleet, attempting to ambush them. Zheng He responded swiftly. His soldiers stormed the beaches, captured the king, and brought him in chains aboard the treasure ship. Yet even in victory, Zheng He did not seek destruction. He returned the king alive, a living warning of China's power. Over 7 voyages, Zheng He sailed as far as Arabia and the coast of Africa. In Mogadishu, Somali traders gaped at the size of the Chinese ships. On the shores of Kenya, giraffes walked onto the decks, bound for the emperor's palace. And then, just as suddenly, it ended. After 1433, the Ming emperors turned inward, fearing that such grand expeditions drained the empire's strength. The treasure ships were left to rot, their blueprints forgotten, their sails silenced. Yet, in the whispers of sailors and the records of foreign lands, the legend of Zheng He lived on, a man who commanded the oceans, whose fleet carried not just soldiers but the vision of an empire seeking to bind the world with awe and diplomacy. For a brief moment in the 15th century, the seas belonged not to the West, but to China's great admiral.